welcome to the Get at Gaming Plus podcast, where I have to fix some of that stuff. There we go, it's fixed. I am Alex,
I'm Ben.
and we like to talk to you about all the fun, nerd, whatever stuff that we like. Um, if you like it, that's awesome. You should follow us on Facebook, Twitter. You can find the audio podcasts on any podcast service, probably. Um, Search for Get At Gaming. You should be able to find us there. We're also on YouTube. If you find Get At Gaming on YouTube, we are there as well with video versions of this, and that's what I was alluding to earlier for audio listeners. Ben's screen was a little too big because we kept leaving technical difficulties and stuff. So that's what happens when you do it live, I guess. But we have a good show for you. At least I hope we have a good show for you.
It's always a good show. Always.
Yeah, good show. Jolly good show, as Pop says from regular show. I could do the actual voice, but I don't know if I want to do the voice, side tangent, you know what? Screw like what we normally do. I personally feel, now correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know. I feel like I'm really good at parroting voices. Parroting voices, so like copying voices and doing them compared to like than most other people, if they're in my range. But like Pops is one. I can do a Rick and Morty. Maybe I'll be in the next Rick and Morty, who knows. Cast me Adult Swim. I can do just a bunch of random voices. Like, I don't know, did you ever watch Regular Show?
Oh my gosh, I loved it. The kids watched it because it came on right after Adventure Time.
Yeah.
My older kids, but which I loved it because it was like it was literally made for adults, and the references on a regular basis were my generation. It was hilarious.
Well, you know who else loves it?
My mom.
Yeah. So anyway, there's a little bit of horrible voice acting for you today. But yeah, we have a show for you. Talking about the Pokemon Presents, what all happened there. Because last time we were like, what's gonna happen, and now we know what happened. There's some interesting Dragon Ball news that happened, Elden Ring news, and State of Play happened, so we can talk about how disappointing that was. But the way that we start these episodes, we always talk about like what we've been watching or what we've been playing, as well as like hidden trophies, things that we buy because we have no self-control. So since I am the host for today, Ben, I'm gonna make you do it. What have you been watching? What have you been playing? What have you been buying?
I've only watched the first episode of Last of Us.
Yeah,
great, amazing. I can't wait to watch more.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the big one. The big thing is when this episode drops. So it dropped on Wednesday, the 8th. I have already been playing the new Halo stuff for multiplayer. There's good. I think it's really cool. Some of the new maps and some of the new things with it. The bad are maybe the fact of everything. All of my settings were wiped. Like everything was wiped. It didn't feel comfortable playing. Now I only played like 5 rounds.
Okay.
And so I didn't really get a chance to. I just want to get my ranking, and it's so weird in those ranking matches because you're playing against everybody in every single rank, the lowest to the top. And I thought I handled myself pretty well. I ranked at a silver 5, which isn't a diamond or anything like that, but for me that's pretty good. So I did play a little bit of that. I think the more I play it, the more I'll like it. I just haven't played any of the new features yet, really. I just played ranked. One thing I did get, which is kind of funny that we're going to talk about it because it seems to be like a holy grail right now. I did get a copy of Metroid Prime Remastered. Second day that it was out, I walked in, I grabbed it, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're like hard to get.
They're so hard to get, even though it's right here. Look at this. Yeah. For audio listeners, I don't have a green screen because I'm too lazy to put it up, but I can grab stuff now from the back. And yeah, I have my Metroid. It's still sealed. I don't know if I'm ever gonna open it, but yeah, they were pretty hard to get, so I decided to go pick one up myself.
Yeah, I went to Walmart, just walked in, grabbed it, no problem.
So I did.
So, that's pretty cool. I haven't played it yet. My son's been playing a little bit, and it's it, looking at it on his OLED, it looks really good.
Hmm.
So I'm hoping to get into that. So I'm gonna I'm gonna say anyone that hasn't watched Mord's Garage on YouTube, you need to watch it. So I usually watch it because it just is like a relaxing thing for me. It's cool to see him like uh, he's got the a complete inbox in N64 collection. Number one, and I do
Hmm.
mean complete, like special editions, uh, you name it. And he also decided to do more of like when he goes out and he does like the flea markets and stuff like that. So I'm going to show you this. This is Legend of Zelda. I've
Hmm.
owned this one for a while. This is actually a very, very good copy. Okay. And if you notice on the back, there are 3 screws. Now, this one was a later model, not when it first came out, even though there's the 5 screw situation that we always talk about. But so that one's pristine. This one's a little rough. But I was watching Mort's Garage, and he had a friend on there that had each of his games.
Hmm.
So I think I just froze on video, but
You did, but it's fine. You can still hear me, right?
yep, yep.
Okay. Well,
So
I love the face. The face
yeah,
is just frozen.
yeah, that's great. You'll have to edit that anyway. So his friend had 2 Zeldas, and he goes, "Do you know what the difference is?" He goes, "No, I just really had 2 Zeldas." So they did do a 5 screw Zelda. So what I've got is a 5 screw Zelda.
And we lost him. We lost him, folks. He's gone. He does not exist. I don't know if it's my internet. I don't know if it's his internet, But this is what happens when when the internet's bad. We'll see. See if we get him. We don't get him, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Maybe I'll just play him through my phone, and then we can just listen to him that way. Man, that would be horrible. But I'm just gonna just keep on talking, and maybe he'll pop back up. I think he popped back up. I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? He can't hear me, ladies and gentlemen. He cannot hear me at all. So it's gonna be a short one. Okay. Just gonna keep on going. We're just gonna keep it going. I can't hear him, see him.
Yeah, I'm back now.
Hey, you're back. Look, listen to that. Internet,
So
internet issues, but we're still recording. We're still going.
I did hit stop record.
Well, it doesn't matter. We got mine. It's still going.
Okay. I'm going to just hit record again on my end, and we'll just keep going.
All right, cool.
All right, let me do something here real
Now,
quick.
video listeners, you get a different thing than audio listeners. So listen to that. That's why you should go on youtube.com/get at gaming to get the full podcast.
Okay, so what I will show you now that video's working.
For now.
So this is my normal copy of Zelda.
Yep.
Right. 3 screws. This now, like I said, this is in not good shape, but if you look, it's the 5 screw. So, and the battery still works.
All right.
So, yeah, I would recommend everyone to watch Mort's Garage. For me, it's like it's nice to watch a video where it's just like relaxing. It's
Mm-hmm.
comforting, not like crazy. It's just really nice. So yeah, I learned that on his show. I've been collecting NES for several years and didn't know that. So yeah.
All right.
All right. So yeah, that's that's all I've got since it's abruptly cut. What about you, Alex?
I don't know what I want to talk about. I guess. Well, I guess I'll say that I don't want to name names just in case, but I got some cool stuff recently, so I appreciate said friend who gifted me some cool things. So thank you very much. So I got more dot hack stuff, which is always nice. I got Billy Hatcher and a giant egg, so I'm looking forward to playing that. I've always wanted to play that, um, but it was just one of those games that kind of like escaped my I don't know, not necessarily my radar, but it was like once I realized it existed, it was harder to find for me personally.
Yeah,
And so I always used to see commercials for it, and it was the Sega game. I think it's made by Team Sonic, but it was like the creators of Sonic Adventure 2. And I was like, oh, I have to play this because I love Sonic Adventure. Um, but now I have that opportunity. Yeah, I have more stuff, but really, what I've been playing, or I guess what I've been buying as well, is it over there. I ended up getting a copy of Xenoblade 3. So now I own Xenoblade Chronicles 1, 2, and 3. Um,
wow.
I'm playing through Xenoblade Chronicles 1 right now. I'm enjoying it a lot more than I did before because, and this is why I should go back to Horizon Zero Dawn, because they both suffer from the same issue, which is there are way too many side quests, and I get distracted by the side quests, and I'm easily like, don't give me a list of side quests to like when I get them, and it's like, oh, you can just go through them and do them all. Like the way I play games is like, cool, I got some side quests because I feel like they're going to be time sensitive. Let me do these because most of the time they are in certain games. So it's like, all right, let me go ahead and do all of these, this group of side quests, and then let me continue. Well, with Xenoblade, I feel like there are a million side quests, and
Right.
they don't stop because even after you finish side quests for someone, they'll be like, "Oh, I have another side quest for you. Do you accept?" Sure. And then as soon as you accept, there's still a exclamation above them, and they're like, "Oh, I have another side quest for you," and it's just never-ending side quests. And I
Yeah.
think that's what really burnt me on the first game. But if you don't do all the side quests, I feel like you're not leveled enough for later on.
Which is
Um,
funny because we were talking about that. We were talking about that the other day with
yeah.
role playing games.
Hmm.
Uh, you it's almost like if you skip all the side quests and you don't do them, then later on you get to a point where you're like, I can't progress because I'm just not strong enough.
Yeah, I forget what game we talked about in particular, but for
Final
me,
Fantasy X.
yeah, yeah, 10. For me, it was Star Ocean till the end of time. I got stuck at a certain point where I couldn't progress at all. Like I was stuck where I couldn't buy any items. I couldn't do anything. I was just stuck at a save point, and then I could go attack some enemies or go to the next story beat, and like that was it. Like I was stuck between a rock and a hard place. And so what I had to do was grind out these enemies and just pray that they wouldn't like kill me, and then go back to the save point and save, and then just uh wait for a level up, and then that gave me full health again. And so I would just rinse and repeat, save, 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 and eventually like I got out of that loop there. But like yeah, it's just sometimes these games like just are a little too involved, and
Yeah.
I mean that's cool, I guess, if you want a lot of content, but like this feels like it's just bloated. This is my I guess it's not the same thing as Yakuza Ryoga Gotoku Zero or anything like that, but like Zero's issue for me, and people love it, and Five's issue for me, honestly, is that there were way too many side quests, and a lot of them didn't pay off, and they weren't super funny. So like that's the benefit of the Yakuza Ryoga Gotoku um, side quests, is that like they're goofy and they're zany and it's a fun time. Um, but there's also a ton of them, and
Yeah.
so people want to get their money's worth out of a game, so that's why they want to do all these side quests. And sure, whatever, but I'd rather just play the story for most of these games, unless it's something like I absolutely love or the side quests are manageable, like a Kingdom Hearts thing or something, where like, oh, I'm collecting items and that's my side quests. Like I'm more okay with that compared to, hey, go do this MMO fetch quest. Just kidding. Now you're doing it again, but with this different monster. Oh, now you're doing this again, and it's just nonstop. And so, uh, long story short, I guess, yes, I do like Xenoblade, even though I'm complaining about it a lot. I like it a lot more than I used to before. I still have a lot of issues with it, but I ran into Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and that game is harder to find. That game is, I got $60 used. Um, and then I was able to get Xenoblade Chronicles 3 used for about 35 maybe,
That's really
from
cool.
our local place, and it's like that's a newer game that's $60 new right now. And I ended up selling some things. I know, right? I ended up selling some things, so it actually paid for itself and then some. So um yeah, no, I actually, yeah, I sold some things. What I sell, just duplicate things I already have, of older things, to the local store. Like I own like an incomplete set of Yu Yu Hakusho or something like that on DVD. And so I was just like, I'm gonna sell this Yu Yu Hakusho season 1 because it's the DVD version, and like there's a Blu-ray and there's a super better Blu-ray, and I already have the Blu-ray of it. So why do I still have this? Um, or I had like a Lupin versus Conan thing, but like I have the Blu-ray now. I don't need the DVD. Um, and like they're not worth anything really. So like it's kind of like a, I'm just gonna sell this to the local store, and then there's a Xenoblade here too. All right, store credit please. But that's like the one time you'll see me selling things. I feel, because I just don't do it often.
And I think as collectors, we don't like me personally. I've been purging,
Yeah.
um, just because at some point I'm gonna get a new house, and it's like, do I want to move with everything? You know,
Yeah.
and a lot of it when we put the house up for sale, we'll have to put in storage, and it's like, what do you want to put in storage?
Yeah.
Because we're gonna walk through. So I declutter. I've really kind of focused more on what I really really like, which is my NES. I purchased quite a few, um,
Hmm.
but then like I've been buying more Switch games.
Oh yeah. um yeah, no, Switch is great. I feel like Switch is still doing really well, even though people really want the Switch to die and they want Switch 2 to come out soon. Um, but I think Switch is still thriving. I think it'll still continue for a while longer. I got a game recently, because I miss Rhythm Heaven. I don't know if you remember Rhythm Heaven. They're like on Wii and DS.
So
They're it's kind of like, you remember like WarioWare. It's kind of like those
yes,
micro things, except they're rhythm based. Every single random game is a rhythm based game. And there's a game on Steam and then Switch called Melatonin, and it's a spiritual successor, um, to like the Rhythm Heaven games, and it's not made by the people or anything, but it's clearly just like very inspired by them. Um, and it's just like a bunch of like random like lucid loopy dream type stuff where it's like I'm flying in the air and I'm eating this pizza that's flying at me, or this burger, and then you have to like do it like in order by like clicking the button and knowing like when to click certain things. And it's really fun. It's like one of those nice things to like, I mean, it's called Melatonin. It's one of those things to like play on Switch in bed, like right before you fall
yeah.
asleep. Like they're good games like that. But otherwise, playing stuff. I've been playing more. What's that game called? Theater Rhythm, Final Bar Line, and I still like it a lot. I streamed some of it earlier this week, and I played all of the Final Fantasy X songs. So no more Final Fantasy X songs, Ben. I'm sorry. Um,
The
but
one time I wasn't on,
yeah, I did.
you,
I did them all.
I mean,
It wasn't at any fault or any malice towards you or anything. It was oh, I only have 5 more songs of this compared to 20 for the others. Let me just finish off this game really quick.
Yeah.
um because I already did them. So because of you. So yeah, I finished that off. I did like a couple other things here or there, and yeah, I'm still enjoying the game quite a bit. And more of the DLC has shown up, and I know there's a patch that came out. I think like yesterday maybe or a couple days ago, which fixed some issues with like save data and like certain things corrupting. Um, but yeah, it's a really fun game to stream and just play in general. I don't really play it on my own too much, but I do stream it, and I also streamed. I don't think we talked about this on the podcast yet. No, that was before we were recording. Ryoga Gotoku Ishin, like a dragon Ishin, because it's no longer called Yakuza. Um, so they're calling them all like a dragons now, which is Ryoga Gotoku, which is the studio, which is like what it's called in Japan. Um, but it made sense to call this one like a dragon because it there are no yakuza. It takes place
Mhm.
in like feudal Japan, um, and everyone is a character from the old games, except that they are not those characters. It's someone described it as you're watching a play and Kiryu is the main lead, and he's playing Sakamoto, or um, yeah, like he's playing the main character. So that's what you're supposed to think of is like, oh, I know this actor. It's this guy. Like, and like I
Right.
had a lot of those moments where I was like, oh, it's uh Akiyama. Like he's one of my favorite characters from Yakuza 4, Akiyama Shun. And then it's like, oh, it's that long hair. I wonder if it's him. And he turns around. It's like, oh, whoa, it's him. But he's like a completely different character. I don't know how he is in this game, but it's really cool just to see like, oh, I like this character a lot. I hope they're cool in this game, and just the things that they do. But I don't really want to spoil too much about it. I'm only 2 hours in as well, but it's very traditional Yakuza. Like something happens and you are banished and you have to go clear your name. Like that's every single Kiryu Ryukagotoku game where it's like you've been framed for murder. Now go try to clear your name and make sure you're not a murderer. um, but I enjoyed it a lot. The sword play is fun and interesting. The gunplay seems kind of broken for regular enemies because you get unlimited ammo unless you do a super attack. And so there's like a guy like further away, and I just have a pistol. I'm just like bang, 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 bang. He's dead. um, but like when it comes to bosses or something like that, they can deflect bullets, they can do all that kind of stuff. So you really have to parry and focus on like your actual combat and just increasing the your skill trees and all of that. But yeah, it's really fun. It's definitely what I want to play in a Ryoga Gotoku game. Like I still haven't finished Like a Dragon, like the seventh game, just because it's an RPG. Um, and I love RPGs, but that's not what I play these games for. I play them for the action brawler experience, and that's why I was very happy to play this and be like, oh, it's very traditional, but with a spin to it. Like there are different attacks and stuff this time. There's a new weapon, two new weapons, so it just feels a lot fresher, but it's still the same type of game that I'm used to compared to like playing 7 and being like, this is just a JRPG with style. That's fine. I don't want this though.
Right.
um, but I'm looking forward because like yeah, this came out, and then the Kiryu game should be coming out sometime this year, and that should also be similar to something like this where it's not RPG ish. I hope. I really hope. Um, but yeah, that's all I've really been doing. while I take a sip of water because it's really dry in my room. I maybe because I was cleaning, so like
I think it's dry
dust.
everywhere.
Well, I think maybe it's like dust or something too.
It could be, yeah. I mean, that's okay. I've been drinking the whole time. So,
Drinking water, drinking water.
my wife got this little tangent. It's called Gatorade Fit.
Mm-hmm.
This stuff's really good. It's not like I work out or anything, obviously, but this stuff's really good. This one is cherry limeade.
Hmm. All right then. The more you know. Okay, so we're gonna go to the first news story of the day. Um, oh yeah, I forgot I have it like that. Let's see here. So Pokemon Presents happened over last week. Last
Yeah, I
week.
think it was. Yeah, it was last week.
Okay. Yeah. So this is from Pokemon official website. Decided to do this instead of through like IGN or something, since we don't really have the opportunity most times to have a list of things of what was in a presentation by a company. Normally they're just like watch the video. But this is different, so this is nice here. So yeah, it talks about, yeah, you can watch the video. But they talk about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, new DLC, um new Terra Raid battles, more Paradox Pokemon. They announced was it Walking Wake and the other one was Iron
The other
Leaves.
one.
I can't see because like nothing's highlighted or anything, so it's really hard to see.
Yeah,
Um,
it's not.
yeah, but Walking Wake is the Paradox form of Suicune, and then I forget what this thing's called. It's another legendary. But yeah, it's the Paradox form of that. So those are raids that I don't know if they're still happening now, but they started like right after the event, I believe. Pokemon Go had some new stuff to that. You can get a Gimmighoul, the roaming form, like the tiny ones. If you do this postcard thing in Scarlet and Violet and connect stuff, with home you should be able to get the small one instead, which is kind of nice. I like that smaller one. It's fun to like find it around and Scarlet and Violet, but the big treasure here was, I can't believe I said treasure. The hidden treasure of Area Zero is what it's called. Um, and that is the DLC. It's going to be releasing in two parts. The first part is coming in fall 2023, and the second part is coming in winter 2023. Um, first part is called the Teal Mask, where you're on a school trip like at an island, I believe, and then the other one's called the Indigo Disc, and you're exchange student at Blueberry Academy. And that's all we really know about it just yet. There are some new Pokemon added to some of these. I think it was Momotaro or something. There's like a
Oh,
folklore thing for Japanese stuff, and I believe the Pokemon were based off of Momotaro Journey or whatever that is called. Um, and so, like, yeah, that's coming out here soon. You can pre-order it now, I believe, and you get new uniforms for your character if you pre-order. So as an early game thing, and then you also get a special Zoroark version um, for you as well. They don't show it here, but the Pokemon for Indigo Disc, I don't know if you've seen it at all, because it like showed like the two things,
mhm.
and Indigo Disc had all of the badges
I did see that.
from the original Indigo League. So like naming an Indigo Disc, like I wonder if you're you're going to be connected to um, Kanto region at all, like from the
I
older
mean,
games.
it wouldn't surprise me. Nintendo's gotten better with their DLC, especially in Pokemon. And this presentation wasn't very long. It was like what, 27 minutes, 30 minutes.
Probably less than
Maybe?
that.
Yeah, it was pretty quick. And but this was a nice surprise. I think the game's been out for a little bit, and they're like, I feel this is pretty quick to them to be like, look, we've got DLC.
Yeah, I'm also curious to see like how many people are happy to see DLC versus hey, fix your game first, please,
Yeah,
because it's still very. But I haven't gone back to it since December. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I have not played it because it was like it wasn't super buggy, but
right.
like because it was buggy enough, um, I just lost interest in it. I would
Yeah.
rather play Xenoblade because it's not
Well,
buggy.
and I think they know they messed up, and they initially were like, look, we're sorry, we're working on it. But this is the same thing that Cyberpunk did. They're like, hey, we know there's issues, but here's our DLC.
Yeah.
You know, how well that worked for them. That game is like they've got that DLC, but that game is like I I don't know how many people are actually playing it anymore. To be
Well,
honest.
I mean, Cyberpunk increased in sales when the anime came out in the fall, like
Hmm.
a lot. But yeah, no, I don't think I think people fell off of it again, for
Yeah,
sure. And I don't know how many people are playing this Pokemon game still. To be honest, like I know it's still very popular, and I think it is a very good game. It's probably one of the best Pokemon games I've ever played. But because it has all these issues, it's just very hard for me to get into it. And like I have a very hard problem playing things with bad frame rate, and that's
yeah,
just not just me being pretentious. It's be um, maybe a little bit, but also like it's an issue with motion sickness. I love Mega Man Legends on the PS1, but that game, or aesthetically, I love it. But that game has such bad FPS that it's unplayable for me at times, or I have to play it for 10 minutes and take a break,
yeah,
because it's just very choppy and not great. And nowadays most games are 60 frames minimum, I would say, and that's what they used to be until things became 3D. Like I want to say, unless you were in the PAL regions, because of that whole 55 hertz issue or whatever, like you all of our games were 60 frames, like Super Nintendo 60 frames and all that kind of stuff. Like our it's very fluid compared to other things. But anyway, yeah, that's why I haven't touched this game, but maybe I'll go back to it if they fix it.
yeah,
Pokemon Sleep exists. Finally, it is a thing, it is real. What is it though? I don't know, because they still haven't really explained what it is. They just showed like an app that seems to track your sleeping. And from Pokemon themselves, um, they say, "quote In this game, you work together with Professor Neroli and Snorlax to research the way Pokemon sleep. And to do so, all you need to do is get a good night's sleep. By leaving your smartphone by your pillow when you go to bed, your sleep will be measured and analyzed. Your sleep will be categorized into one of three sleep types, and the Pokemon that sleep in similar ways will gather around Snorlax. To aid you in your research, the new Pokemon Go Plus accessory can be used for Pokemon Sleep. The handy device operates with a push of a button, and it can be measure your sleep data when it's placed by your pillow, instead of using the other thing. There's also a Pikachu within the Pokemon Go that can sing you lullabies. Um, and yeah, the it's just talking about your bonds growing and all this other stuff. It's planned for summer of this year, and Pokemon Go Plus is scheduled for July 14th. That's very specific. July 14th, 2023.
Yeah, that is
Um,
very.
so yeah, this is actually a thing. I don't know how well this is gonna go. I don't know what's their motivation. Like I don't know why someone like Pokemon would make this. I guess they made the brushing teeth app or whatever,
They did.
but like this is just another thing where it's, are you trying to gather metadata on us of our sleep patterns so you know like this is ample time to bug you to play Pokemon since we know
Yeah,
you're awake.
I mean,
um,
funny, but that's a huge strategy of any company. Um, this is like the part of like I was okay with some of it, but then like this, I was just kind of bored. There's a couple things here I was like, okay, this is kind of boring. And it,
mm.
you know what? Maybe people like are into it. That's great. For me, I was kind of bored with it. I was hoping they would be like, oh, and the Pokemon trading card game comes to Game Boy on Switch Online or
Well,
something
we know
along the
it's coming here soon.
yeah, or announcement of like certain games coming to
Oh yeah,
uh
yeah. No, that didn't happen. I told you it wasn't gonna happen. I'm pretty sure I said it wasn't gonna happen, but
yeah, it did not happen. There was a bunch of random things. It kind of reminds me of like when McDonald's used to sell fried chicken. It was like you didn't go to McDonald's to get that. You go to get their other food, right? Not to or even better when they had do you remember when they had the sit down restaurants and they would serve you and
yeah.
you could get a
Not to
yeah,
give our location away, but in front of the mall it used to be like that.
yep, yeah,
Yeah, they called them like
cafes or something or
McCafe. No, it wasn't McCafe. It was McDonald's Diner, I think is what it was called. But yeah, no, it was weird. And then like what was it? Like a year later it turned back into a normal McDonald's and it had the Game Cubes in it and stuff.
yeah, because like I remember because like those franchise owners are like, oh yeah, this is a great idea. We're gonna make so much money, and there were signs like you were not supposed to tip them at
Hmm.
all. And I mean, no offense, if I'm gonna buy a steak, I'm not gonna go to McDonald's to
No,
buy a steak. Let's
no,
be honest. No, no. Sorry, little
no.
side tangent. But please continue with more stuff that I found uninteresting.
Yeah. Pokemon Go Plus Plus is the thing that exists.
Yep.
It's another thing. There's also this Pokemon thing by Netflix because or with in partnership with Netflix because um Netflix and Japan are very buddy buddy, and they have been for quite a while with creating anime and stuff because it's a lot easier to do so without any sort of loss. Because Netflix wants content, and these anime companies and stuff want a some sort of paycheck regardless. So it's pretty safe to put stuff on here, especially for like indie or smaller anime things. But Pokemon makes sense, especially because they have the Pokemon journeys and the other movies and stuff. Like they come out exclusively on Netflix and like batches, um, which is still really weird to me. That I mean, it's kind of the same thing with Digimon, to a degree. I guess we had Digimon for a little bit, but um, we don't have the Japanese version of Pokemon at all here.
Yeah.
The only thing that we have Japanese in America for Pokemon is the Mewtwo Strikes Back um, CG movie. You can change the audio to Japanese for that.
Yeah.
This is very interesting. I wonder if they're going to do it with this. I'm not sure. But it's called Pokemon Concierge, and it looks like an interesting little art style, stop
I did
motion
like
animation.
I love the art style. But we'll see when it comes out. Because
Yeah,
they didn't even say a date. They were just like, we're working on it. They showed like a 5 second clip. Yeah.
yeah. Speaking of Pokemon trading card game, they did announce this thing, and no one really knows what this is. It's Pokemon Trading Card Game Classic, a premium TCG set created by Nendo Creatures and the Pokemon Company. Uh, Scheduled for late release in 2023. Is meant to last a lifetime. Huh. Nintendo Pokemon World Championships is going to announce more about this. Um, but as far as what I could tell, it was the original cards, original art for the cards and stuff as well. The backs are different, um, but it's kind of like a premium set of here is a Venusaur deck, here's a Charizard deck, here is a Blastoise deck. Um, and then they also had like I mean, you can kind of see it on this page here, but they have like a game board for it, places the I guess put your prizes maybe. Yeah, it looks like it. Because that's what's on the sides. They have them stacked that way. That's interesting. I've never seen it like that.
I mean, it was pretty interesting when they
They
came
have that
out.
little thing on the side because like you can like
Yeah,
throw stuff in there, like dice and stuff and counters.
I mean, I felt like it was pretty interesting. This is going to be for that that one. This yeah, like you. This is not going to be cheap though.
No.
It's gonna be like $200 something dollars. But this is for like you that would buy it and be like, oh, I have it there, which this is what this is for. This
Yep.
this this platform is just this. So it looked really really cool, and I was like, that's really cool. And my son was like, are you gonna buy it? I'm like, nope, this is not for me. I will not spend $200 on this. Uh, if it's
Yeah.
if it's $50, I'd buy it, but we both know it's not gonna be 50.
I don't play Pokemon the trading card game at all. I'm gonna be honest. I tried to again a little bit ago. Um, but are you still there? Your camera disappeared. He's not here. Ladies and gentlemen, I keep saying that. But anyway, I'm gonna talk to you, audience. Uh, so I don't really play the Pokemon trading card game at all. Um, but I don't know what I was gonna say. I don't know. I still buy a lot, and I think that's kind of a problem for me personally. But compared to like Digimon or something, like I actually play the Digimon card game, so buying stuff and doing that, actually, hey, there you are, you're back. Hey, look at that. Yeah, no, I've still been recording and talking to the audience and stuff. You know how it goes. You can have your Frankenstein podcast on your end, and we'll have two different things.
Well, I didn't stop recording this
All
time,
right,
so
yeah, but
not my editing.
yeah, no, we're all good. But what I was saying to them was I don't really play Pokemon. I like to collect it a lot a while back. I tried to play again, but then I just couldn't really get into it. Um it's cheap enough, but I just couldn't get into it. Whereas like Digimon, right away I started playing it and I was like, I like this game a lot. I like how this does, and I don't know. I like Pokemon a lot,
Yeah,
but it might just be I've always liked Digimon a lot. Like ever since I was a kid, I had the one that like the tiny old Tamagotchis. Like they're back here on the floor somewhere. I've told people, right? I think I told you. Yeah, my floor is a mess since I've been cleaning. But like yeah, they're probably down there somewhere. But like yeah, I watched that anime when I was younger. All of them, or all the up to four. Um, I've always really enjoyed them. I enjoyed the games and stuff. I enjoy the Pokemon games and stuff fine, and the anime fine too. Trading card game wasn't really anything I got into until I played the Game Boy game. I thought it was perfected by playing it on Game Boy. It's kind of like playing Yu-Gi-Oh through the Switch or whatever. Like I really like playing these types of games like in a computer setting. Um so like but still like this is a really cool premium thing that I will probably go for because it is assuming that it's just this and there aren't really any expansions or stuff to it. It is a self-contained thing that will never update, so I don't have to worry about meta. I don't have to worry about yeah, like oh my cards are banned. I don't have to worry about any of that kind of stuff. It's just hey, do you want me to teach you how to play Pokemon? We can learn with this thing, and they're older cards, so they're easier to understand.
I mean, like I said, when I saw that come out, I'm like, that's really cool, but that's hitting a certain demographic. So
Yeah, I'm ready for Zach to buy it.
yeah, he probably will buy it. He probably will be buying all of that.
Okay, so I'm gonna skip through this. Masters EX, it's a mobile game. I don't like it. I don't play it. They're 3.5 years of that. They're celebrating it, and they have extra stuff for it. If you want to know more, find it online. I'm not covering it. um, Same thing with Unite. Unite's the MOBA game that I hate. Because the MOBA, but there's more MOBA stuff. Do you like MOBA? Do you like League of Legends? Well, too bad. This is Pokemon Unite, and I am not going to talk about it anymore since it's MOBA. MOBA games are bad. Pokemon Cafe remix. It's more Pokemon Cafe, more remix. I don't care about this either. So we're just kind of go through it. And Pokemon World Championships, they talked about that earlier, where it's that's where we're gonna see more about that card game and stuff. But this is gonna take place in Yokohama, Japan, and this might be the first time World Championships have been in Japan. To
Yeah,
be honest, but yeah, they're Pokemon Championships are really cool to watch. I don't know if you ever have before. Um, if you just like subscribe to Pokemon channel or whatever on YouTube, at certain times of the year, they'll have like 3 different live streams going on their same channel, and it'll be like, here's video game, here's trading card game, here's Go, because Pokemon Go has its own thing as well. And so like, you can just like watch all the people playing the game, the trading card game, or like the competitive video game, and it's just really interesting to watch because I'm not really in that scene at all, but it's always interesting to watch people who are the top, like best of the best, go at it.
G4 before they went under used to do. Um, they used to watch. They used to have that in their commentary. So that was kind of cool to watch because it literally is. It's like it's so. I thought it was so fast paced. You know,
Well, Pokemon championships, uh nationals, might maybe, they used to be in Indianapolis for the longest time, and they're not anymore. But I want to say maybe until like 2012 or something, they stopped being in Indianapolis. But they
yeah.
were so close to us, and yet I never went. But maybe if it ever comes back, maybe I'll go back. Um, but yeah, that's our Pokemon news there. Like, we skipped around a bunch because we kept losing connection and all that.
Right.
We're gonna go through some other stuff here that should be pretty quick, honestly, and then we'll go through the last story of the day. Um, so full disclosure, I found about this person from Kind of Funny Games Daily through Blessing Adeoye Jr. There's this person named Nobel or Noble Broet. But they are basically like um what was it Noble?
I think they
Nibel or whatever his name was.
they're,
Uh
they're I think it's Noble.
well, yeah, this person's Noble, but like the previous person we used to talk to had like the Mob Psycho 100
Yeah.
like face or whatever. It was like Nibel or something. But like they were the one who I always used to go to for news and try to find him on Twitter, and then he retired from Twitter, or they retired from Twitter. We don't know what they even look like. But yeah, they stopped doing news, but this person rose up to the occasion, and now they post stuff pretty frequently, so this is where I go for a lot of our news and stuff as well. But during the Dragon Ball Fighters tournament, the finals, they had a one more thing announcement, and they showed a trailer here, and you can kind of see it here, and it's like an old CRT, and it is um Budokai Tenkaichi, or I guess this is sparking on this one. Um, but then it's but then it says like a new Budokai Tenkaichi begins, and like it has like Goku powering up right here, and he's going Super Saiyan Blue.
Yeah.
So like it's a new Tenkaichi. It's what people want. I don't really like Tenkaichi. I'm gonna first say that. I've never really been a big fan of Tenkaichi. I really like Budokai. I really like fighters because it's more of a traditional Budokai. It's an actual fighting game because Arc System works and stuff worked on it. Um, but Tenkaichi was very much like one of the old um uh one of the old like arena fighters that eventually like became like Naruto Ninja Storm and that kind of stuff. And Naruto Ninja Storm and all that have really perfected their uh way that they do it, so much so that there's that My Hero those My Hero games. There's the Demon Slayer game that's also a arena fighter like this. So seeing them go back to sparking to Tenkaichi. I think that is really cool to see. And the internet lost their minds because apparently everyone loves Budokai Tenkaichi. Um, I don't know if that's true or not, but people seem to think it might be one of those things where the nostalgia is like, oh, this I remember playing this, but did you did you like it though? Because I'm pretty sure we all talked about Budokai 3. That's a
I
different type
mean,
of game.
I felt like Budokai was a great game series, and I played it.
Yeah,
Um, you know, uh, and this was pretty cool looking. I was really hoping it was a new fighters. I love Arc Systems what they did with it.
yeah,
It is like it's perfect in so many ways. You know, especially with the animations and how colorful it is. It's just set. But this is pretty cool. I remember like in our group on Discord, we all got a text about it,
yeah,
and I watched the trailer. I was like, it's super quick. Most of the footage is like old game footage,
yeah,
but it was still pretty cool. Uh, they're coming out with a new one. I mean, I think that's pretty cool.
yeah.
We'll see what.
We haven't seen a Tenkaichi since PS3. There was a game called Ultimate Tenkaichi, but people don't really count it as one because everyone keeps saying, "Oh, we're getting Tenkaichi 4, Tenkaichi 4." But like we had Ultimate Tenkaichi, isn't that 4?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they're gonna do with this one. They said new, so it's gonna be a new one.
Yep.
But there's such a huge roster of characters that you can get.
Well, especially with Tenkaichi, I remember the last one I played was Tenkaichi 3. I played it on the Wii actually. But like every character that you could think of was on that game. And forms were also separated. So
Yeah,
it'd be like, here is Goku, next screen. Here is Goku Super Saiyan, next screen, Super Saiyan 2. And they just had every single form just separated because they didn't want you to focus, I guess, on transformations and stuff like how other game Budokai did it. They just want you to just play the game as is. Like you'd be Gray Ape. You could be like the big apes. You could play as Garlic Jr., I want to say, and like all of the random like movie characters and OVA characters and all that too. So
it was
um
also in that game,
it was in that game.
Mr. Satan,
Of
or
course.
your, what do they call
Hercule.
it? Yeah, Hercule.
Yeah.
He was in it, and his character was actually pretty fun in the game. It's
Uh
really weird. It reminds me of like playing as Dan in Street Fighter, where you're not like good, but you're just good enough.
See, here's the thing. I was about to do something cuz I for a while I don't know, now I'm second guessing myself. I feel like I used to be able to do a good Mr. Satan, like a voice of it. So I'm going to try it right now. Oh yeah. I defeat Cell. Yeah.
You know what he kind of reminds me of? He kind of reminds me of like Macho Man Randy
Yeah,
Savage.
exactly. I think that's what he's supposed to be. Like his
Yeah,
English. Oh yeah,
yeah, like,
Macho
and
Man.
that was pretty good. I will tell you, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I used to be able to do Peter's laugh really well, but it's been a
Yeah.
while. I used to do it all the time. I drove my wife nuts. She goes, "Please stop." Uh,
uh,
yeah,
but
this was a pretty cool
yeah.
announcement. I think as we get closer to E3, we're going to see a lot of these announcements that are not the big boys.
Hmm.
You know, like you're not going to see first party Nintendo or Sony or Xbox things.
I don't have this on the list, but there's a Capcom thing this week.
Yeah,
So,
we'll have to do that next week. I wonder. You know what? We can always talk about it and just skip the PlayStation one because that thing was trash. Before we even get into it, it was trash.
well, here's the thing. I don't even know what's going to be announced at this Capcom thing. So, I don't want to like put too much high hopes into it. So maybe we'll just wait until it comes out. um,
Yeah,
because like remember when we watched the one Capcom thing or whatever, and we're like, that's it.
yeah. It
But
was
then
like
we found out later, like from a tweet, is like, oh, that is all they said that they were going to talk about. Okay, but you should have
you're
told
right.
us. um, but yeah, no, Dragon Ball is always great. I love Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Z is fine. I'm one of the few. I don't know where people land anymore, but I like Super. I enjoy Super enough. I think it does a good mix between Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, like with humor, but then also being serious at times. Um, and then GT is just a weird mess, but revisionist history, everyone loves it now, and they're like,
Yeah,
"This is the best thing ever." I'm like, "Are you sure?" Because you all hated it. You all hated it a lot, and it isn't super great. There are good things about it, but overall, it's not good. You all are just liking to hate
and
Super.
one of the first sets of anime that I watched in my lifetime was obviously like Akira, Fist of the North Star on VHS.
Uh huh.
But my first series I watched was Dragon Ball. Remember they used to show it at a weird time on Cartoon Network,
Yeah,
and it wasn't like Adult Swim, and they started showing it on Adult Swim at one point, but
it
that's
came
what.
on after school for me, so it was like 4 o'clock,
Yeah,
4 o'clock, 3:30, something like that.
and it was nice because you got like episodes every day.
Yeah,
The sagas would go quicker. Um,
yeah.
so I think this is great. I think we'll have to wait and see what they're gonna when it's coming out.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, but it looks good. I think it looks good. That transformation was pretty sweet, which means that like Beerus is gonna be in this.
Yeah, you're using the I don't know what engine it is, but they're using the Kakarot engine, so like it looks very much like Kakarot.
Yeah,
So that's on PS5 and the Xbox Series X now, I believe. So, quick thing here to talk about. If it loads, there we go. Elden Ring on the is this the anniversary? I forget. Near the anniversary of Elden Ring, um, they announced, "Hey, do you like Elden Ring? Because we got an expansion coming eventually. Okay, hope you look forward to it. Thanks." Like it's kind of one of those like no brainer. Like, of course you're gonna make an expansion, but also other people talked about like Sekiro never saw an expansion. So it's kind of weird that like that one didn't, but now this one is. Um,
and
but
there's no cost either. It's free.
is there no cost? I don't know.
They said unless they're not talking about this one, but in the video game boards
Okay,
when they said that they had DLC coming pretty soon.
okay,
And
okay, cool. Yeah, I don't remember that, but that's awesome. Cool. So yeah, look forward to that. I will play Elden Ring maybe eventually. I own it now. It is on one of these shelves back here. But
I bought it week one, and I think the only person that's probably got the most hours into it is my son.
yeah.
I played for like 2 hours and I kept dying, and I was like, well, I'm done. So
Yep. Um we're gonna skip I don't know if I really want to talk about this stuff honestly. We'll skip through it really quick and then we'll probably call it because we wasted a bit of time earlier just talking about
it's no
nonsense.
thing. I just when we go through this, we can like there were some good things. Okay,
Yeah.
the Street Fighter stuff was the best part of it, one of the best parts of it. Um, and I know we're gonna probably spend the most of the time talking about that first story that's right there. Um,
Yeah.
Gosh. Okay, so here's my question: how do you come up with some of the greatest superhero games, which is Batman? They're dark, they're gritty, they got the fighting style right, they got Batman down to a T, and this is what you come up with. A it it was weird. They were flying around shooting things, and they're making it.
Why is King Shark have a gun?
Yeah, it just was weird. It was so weird, and they're making it. You see, like, I saw Ryan McCaffrey talk
Hmm.
about it on IGN, saying so you have to be online the whole time,
Yep.
1 to 4 players.
Yep.
Because basically, it's just a game of you just flying around shooting purple things. You know. Now they did say that there's going to be DLC characters, which kind of opens it up because they could. There's a whole plethora of people that were not in this, but I just I think I told Alex that yeah, I'll probably buy it only to play as King Shark. That is
So
that is why.
I'm very concerned for this. This might be okay. This might be fun. Who knows? Um, so I don't know if we actually said it. We just kind of just talked about it. Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. But I am concerned because this is Rocksteady, and Rocksteady's good at what they do, but we just really don't know if we just really don't know um if it's gonna be good because this just isn't a game that they normally try.
Yeah, I know we're having video
Oh, okay.
issues.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, "Are you here or not?" And that
No,
kind of
I'm
like
still
changed
here.
it. Yeah, now you're just sipping on that water.
Yeah.
Um,
Here's the thing: is like this does worry me as well because this is like a very well known company that has done some amazing things. Um, me and you are, I think me, you, and Spencer always argued about was Spider Man better than Batman all the time.
Spider Man's better, 100%.
The point is that the Batman games were fantastic.
Yeah,
They were awesome games,
yeah.
and this is what you come up with. I feel like there's going to be a ton of microtransactions.
They said
Um,
cosmetic.
yeah, but
They're trying to turn this into a paid Fortnite, because this is probably in development for a. I mean, it was in development for a long time, and
yeah,
so they're like, "Oh, Fortnite's looking pretty cool. We should do that, but with our characters." Um, but as at the same time, though, there's evidence that this could have been a Superman game because for the longest time um there were rumors and stuff of Rocksteady working on a Superman game, and
yeah,
this takes place in Metropolis.
yeah,
And the first person we saw was Superman, or first hero that we saw was Superman, in these trailers. So I wonder if that's what they were doing, and then maybe they were forced to do something different at a certain point, or what. But like this seems very much, yeah, it's Fortnite but grittier and lewd or cruder, I guess I should say, not necessarily looter.
yeah,
Um, but that's just what it is compared to um Avengers, which is, I feel like Avengers is better than this already, because
yeah,
there is at least some sort of variation. Like, yes, there are a few characters that play the same, or there's like certain classes that will play the same. As far as I can tell, from all these four characters that we saw playing, they're all the same character. It's just one can like do a little more acrobatics than the other.
yeah, yeah. And I guess my other thing is we need to see more gameplay
Yeah.
and just really got to see what it looks like. Um, and I guarantee this is what I'm going to tell you right now, and I will mark this. They will have different versions of the game. They'll have the normal version, the collector's edition, and the super duper collector's edition.
Yep.
Um, and I just this kind of worries me because you know when you think of like this here, you think of playing, and I'm not saying I had to play like Batman. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like do something different besides flipping all around because it does look like Fortnite.
Yeah.
You know, it does worry me. It does worry me, and I know we don't really not gonna talk about like everything on the list.
Hmm.
That's the one that kind of worried me, and now I will buy it because it's Kevin Conroy's last role.
Hmm.
Um, gosh, and I'm not trying to be mean, but I don't know that this is what he would want to be his last role.
Yeah, I'm
I mean,
curious how
I'm not
much
trying to
he's
be,
in the game as well.
yeah. I mean, he was pretty sick, so um, I guess they're gonna have to show us more, and I guarantee we'll see some at E3.
Hmm.
You know, there is this a Sony only game or is it for all systems? I think it's Sony only.
I don't know. It's only been shown off. I think it's for it might have some sort of exclusivity or timed exclusivity. Um I'm not sure. I would have to look into that. But if anything, it probably has some sort of timed exclusive thing and
Probably.
PC. So but we'll see how it goes. I'm not looking forward to it. It was cool though seeing like oh we're seeing all these other people like the Suicide Squad doing their thing, and then you saw like Wonder Woman, and Wonder
Yeah.
Woman was being really cool. I was like, let me just play as her, please. Get rid of all the Suicide Squad stuff. Let me play as Wonder Woman having to cooperate with the Suicide Squad. That would be way cooler of a game.
Yes. Um, and as we said before, we'll run through some of these, but there really wasn't a lot that I was like, okay, that's super cool. Um, yeah, this
Yeah.
one was cool though.
Yeah, so there are three new characters that they showed off for Street Fighter 6. There was Zangief. He's bad guy, but that doesn't mean he's bad guy.
Yeah,
I love Wreck-It Ralph. There's Lily, and then there's also Cammy, and they've all been confirmed for that. And they also have different like costumes and stuff. Cammy looks the most different, with a new jacket and hairstyle and just new design overall. I think she looks pretty good. Um, Compared to like older designs and stuff as well. Like I think she looks very good, updated.
yeah.
Um,
I just like their. I liked Zangief's move
mhm,
were awesome, like over the top
mhm.
there. But like when she came out, I don't think she's been in a Street Fighter game for a bit.
She might have been, but she just doesn't do much. This is the first time they've really changed her outfit because she's normally in like the green spandex or whatever, and wearing like the red hat or beret. I forget what
Right?
she's wearing, but yeah, I don't know. Baldur's Gate 3 is a thing. It's happening August 31st. That did nothing for me. Resident Evil 4 is coming out, and there's also a demo that's coming out eventually. It's kind of weird that we learned that there was just a demo coming instead of like, hey, the demo's available now. But what are you gonna do? There's also mercenaries mode as well for it. But I thought it
Yeah.
looked pretty cool.
I mean, it's gonna look great. It, I looking at side by side comparison, it does look great.
Yeah,
I am not looking forward to playing it again with those sections where I think it is Ashley, right?
yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Where you have to like watch her as you're being like attacked by
Yeah.
hordes and stuff. Oh god, I hated those. And then the chainsaw wielding like guys.
Well, I
It,
remember that's why people were really concerned about The Last of Us in the very beginning, because you see Ellie and they're like, "Oh no, am I going to have to treat her like I had to like treat what you said Ashley in Resident Evil 4?" Because I remember that was a big concern from a lot of
yeah,
people, was like, "Oh no, this person can't take care of themselves. So now you're gonna have to do this and escort everyone." But then in The Last of Us, Ellie just did whatever she wanted and it was perfectly fine. um, so yeah, I'm interested. Like this is one of the few. I don't really like Resident Evil games, but this is like one of the few Resident Evil games I've actually played. Um, I played it on the GameCube and the Wii. I
I
think I
played it on.
played it on Wii first, but
That's where I played it for the first time. Was
yeah,
no, I played. It came out on a
so,
PlayStation
yeah, it
console,
was
and
on PS2.
yeah, but the first time that I actually finished it was on Wii.
Okay, yeah,
So
I think it controlled very well on Wii because you had like the zapper thing as well.
yep,
Um, yeah, I remember playing at a friend's house. I really enjoyed it. Um, anyway, Destiny 2 Lightfall is out already. That's what they talked about. Um, and then they also talked about PSVR 2. It is out, and they're talking about Green Hell, which is a VR survival simulation game. They talked about what was this? Foglands, which looked kind of interesting. It was a first-person shooter, but it looked very trippy and it had a good art style, honestly. And then Humanity is coming out again. I'm pretty sure we saw this at some point, like
we did, we did.
a while ago, but now it's coming out. Oh, it's coming out for PS4. Oh, it's coming out for regular PSVR. Look at that. Maybe I'll play it. Um, but yeah, it's coming out for PSVR 2, PS5, PS4, and all that. It's made by the people who do Tetris Effect, so it's gonna be an interesting puzzle type game. But it also has a creation tool, so where you can create your own puzzles. Uh, there's Chia, which is a game. Yeah, it's a Wind Waker like exploration game. But it is also coming to PlayStation Plus Extra this March on the 21st. So that's really cool that they're still doing newer games on PlayStation Extra. Because when was the
Yeah,
last time they did that? Was that Stray? Because I don't think they've done it since then.
and they actually did a thing where they were like, "Oh, hey, and get this, it will be free on PlayStation Plus."
Yeah.
Uh, I've got PlayStation Plus, like at the top tier.
Yeah, no, not me.
I bought it when it was on sale,
Uh huh.
so instead of like the 120, it was $89.
Okay.
Um, and there's been a lot of cool stuff on there, like, um, but I don't know, like I'm still waiting for like it to kind of be like, okay, so these are the games we're gonna release. Like,
Yeah.
you know, that's what I'm waiting for.
They feel worse than Nintendo at times because like I don't know when things are going to be releasing for that. Like yes, we have the weekly or the monthly, here are the normal games for the small tier, but then the extra and the premium is like where is that drip feed?
Usually, like
Because
the end of the month somewhere.
well,
Like,
well like we don't really get like just recently they're like here's more PS1 games
yeah,
and we haven't had those for a year, I want to say, or since it came out.
yeah, yeah. It's different. It kind of trickles down a little different. Um, but like I do feel like this month's gold, we're kind of like, eh, I'm not like needing them.
Yeah,
I said gold. I didn't mean to say gold.
I know what you
Uh,
meant.
yeah, PlayStation Plus, and
Yeah.
so that's okay. And they're pretty compatible to Game Pass where they release stuff. But
Yeah, for sure. I the one thing that I probably want to get, I almost said Game Pass, because you tricked me. The one thing I want to get the premium tier for are some of these PS1 games and stuff. But
yeah,
if you notice though, or I guess you might not notice, they're all a la carte, so I can buy them all separately if I really wanted to. If I really want to play Legend of Dragoon, I can just download it and pay for it separately and not have to do the PlayStation Plus extra or premium or whatever. And same thing, there was a glitch for a little bit where it was telling me to pay for Wild Arms 2 even though I have it on PS3. I had to wait a couple days and then it fixed itself. Same thing with like Wild Arms. When Wild Arms appeared for the PlayStation Plus Premium, it was free for me because I already own it on PS3. So any game that comes to the service that you already had on PS3 before, you don't have to pay for it at any extra charge. So yeah, I have Wild Arms and Wild Arms 2 available for me on my PS5. I didn't have to pay a single thing because I already paid for it a long time ago on my
Yeah,
Vita or whatever. So
yeah, that's pretty cool. But yeah, there's still I think they're still working on it.
mhm,
So we'll have to wait and see.
yeah, for sure. Goodbye Volcano High. It's coming to PS5 and PS4 on June 15th. I hate it. I hate everything about it. I don't like the art style. It's interesting that it is a rhythm game at certain points, but I really, really, really hate the art style. I am not a fan.
Yeah, it seemed like it was more of a like a what is it, like a novel where you kind of like pick and choose.
Yeah, very much like a visual novel adventure type game. I could see that, or Telltale a little bit maybe, but a little more, like you said, novel esque. Um, but yeah, I'm not interested. I didn't really like much of the voice acting at all from what I heard, and it just felt very cheesy and corny to me. And I can't take it seriously with these weird anthropomorphic dinosaurs. Like they just don't look appealing to me at all. But that's
Yeah,
just, I mean, art is art. It's all subjective and everything. So take take everyone's opinion with a grain of salt. But yeah, I really just don't like the designs. Like it really reminds me of like those uh how to draw manga books, you know what I'm talking about, where it's
yep,
like give them big eyes and give them this kind of wavy hair, but then also give him a dinosaur mouth because he's a dinosaur. Uh,
yeah, exactly.
but I just don't like it. But people might enjoy it, and it was announced like quite a while ago. But now it's finally coming out soon. So good on them for actually releasing the game, and hopefully it is good. Um, yeah, where's Unbeatable? Give me that rhythm game. Remember that game that I used to play and stream and it was free?
Yep,
Like where's that? That was like 2 years ago. Come on,
yeah,
give
could
it
have
give
been.
it to me. Speaking of Ninja Storm, how we talked about earlier, Naruto Cross Boruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Connections is coming out. I like how they say gets a new trailer. It was announced here. Come on.
Yeah,
But yeah, Naruto Cross Boruto is essentially just Ultimate Ninja Storm, but it is more streamlined and more focused on the story, it seems. But then also it just has a ton of characters.
yeah. It's like all of the games that have come out like recently.
Yeah.
There. What I thought was really cool is the very end of the trailer, they showed off like new characters they were adding.
Yeah, they're adding characters from Boruto, which is I thought was really cool. Cuz
Yeah,
before Ultimate Ninja Storm 4, I want to say it was, didn't really add much as far as Boruto went. Like they only really added the main 3 and maybe like a couple others. But yeah, with this, like they're finally going all in with Boruto, so I'm excited. I haven't watched Boruto in a while, honestly. Like I'm probably like 100 episodes behind. It's fun to hate Boruto right now because that's what people like to do. Um, and they like to complain about the what is it the filler happening right now or a little while ago where Sasuke was fighting a Velociraptor. Um, and it was like multiple episodes of him fighting a velociraptor. um, but apparently that's from one of the novels. Like they're going through like the novels and stuff and doing um, flashback stuff that way. But I enjoy Boruto for what it is, and I really enjoy the Boruto movie. So if anyone hasn't watched the Boruto movie before, if you don't even want to watch the show or anything, that's totally fine. As long as you know enough about Naruto and enjoy Naruto, I would say, and Shippuden, then just watch the Boruto movie. I forget what it's called. I think it's just called like Naruto Boruto the movie, or Boruto Naruto
I
the
think
movie, or
that's what
something.
it is. Yeah, it's just pretty simplistic.
Yeah, but I really really liked that movie. And then they told the movie's story within the anime. Like I want to say like episode 40 or something, 'cause that's when they actually went to it. Um,
No,
but yeah, no, Boruto's great. Ninja Storm's great. More of that is always good. Um, what is this? I don't know what this is. Wayfinder. That's a game. I don't care about it. Oh, and
they
that's
did that.
it.
Yeah, that they it was like a very quick
Yeah.
trailer of it. Yeah, we don't know much about it. And I you know this presentation had a lot of high hopes. I knew they were going to do some VR too, but to me, it wasn't like what I would think they would do at this time of year.
Yeah.
You know, Nintendo's was great. I'm going to go on the record and say so far this year, Nintendo had the best one
Yep.
of the entire year.
Yep.
And I know I'm going to get hate for it, but they did everything right. They did, oh, hey, look, we're going to do this now. And they showed Game Boy and Game Boy Advance. They showed Metroid Prime and saying, hey, by the way, tomorrow or right now after this, you'll be able to download not only Game Boy Advance games, but Metroid Prime, you can download it. Physical version is coming out this day. Uh, it was just great. Plus, I finally got a date for Advance Wars 1 and
Mm-hmm.
2. But this just was like very lackluster. I thought some of the VR games did not look very good for being a new VR unit. Uh,
Yep.
I feel like Sony can do better. You know, I feel like they really can, and Xbox is probably going to have one pretty soon. Uh,
They are. I think it's I think it's this week as well.
yeah, well, it's nice because when the once somebody goes first, they can be like, okay, so this is what didn't work. We're
Yeah.
seeing it. So they'll probably come out with something really big. I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, like that Starfield game, they throw a date out there.
I thought they got delayed.
It did. It was supposed to come out. I think it's still coming out this year,
Okay.
supposedly, because remember, this was the year they were having all of their big ones come out. Remember,
Yep.
they're like, because last year they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
This is the year. That was like it was like a really bad Pepsi ad from like the 90s.
Yep.
Like this year. So, but yeah, I did not think this PlayStation event was very good at all.
Yeah, I agree. Um, Side tangent. Speaking of Pepsi, have you had the new Peeps Pepsi yet? Have you been able to find that?
No. Uh, to be honest, being a reseller myself, people are selling it on eBay.
Of course they are.
Of course, I try to stay away from food products to
I
sell.
want to buy it though for myself and drink it. I want to try it.
Yeah,
I've always my family, my mom especially, has always been not obsessed with Peeps, I would say, but just like very enthralled, I would say, maybe, with Peeps.
yeah,
So like I want to try to find it just so we can be like, hey, let's taste this, let's see if it's good. But supposedly I think it's like a Walmart exclusive, because I didn't see it anywhere locally here, and then I need to go to Walmart, I guess, and take a look. But if any of you listeners finds Peeps, Peepsy as I like to call it, mail it in. Or you might know where I live. Give me some Peepsy.
I mean, I'm in Walmart more probably than the average person
Yeah,
because I'm always in there. If I see it, I will grab you some.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, because I'm in there like all the time.
I
Where
will
I
say I'm not gonna resell it or anything. I'm just gonna
no,
straight up drink it.
yeah, no, I think you're fine. I think
Yeah.
if I find it, I'll totally get you some. I don't like Pepsi
Oh,
at
I
all.
love Pepsi. Pepsi's better than Coke. Don't at me.
Oof. But see, I haven't had like a regular Coke.
Uh,
I had like a couple diets during the holidays, but I haven't had
Diets
like
aren't the same. That's what
no,
killed your love for soda, probably.
probably well that getting old.
Well, sure, but like I'm just saying, like Diet Cokes taste disgusting enough to where you're just like, I don't even want this.
Yeah,
And so you just drink water or something instead, like a normal human being. But anyway, like how your frozen picture is still just you drinking. But this has been our episode of, oh, it's still frozen, of the Gay Gaming Plus podcast, where we talk about bi-weekly about all the things, news and stuff that we enjoy. I somehow have sunk even further into my seat during this whole podcast. I think it's just because I don't have a background anymore. Like I don't have my green screen, so I'm not afraid to like lean back and hit it because it's not there. Um, Honestly, I might not need my green screen as much anymore if I continue to just put more cool stuff up. But yeah, you can find us weekly. We are on Wednesday mornings on audio, and then Fridays for video. So yeah, again, bi-weekly is when those come out. Um, but yeah, check us out on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and all the cast socials. Hope you enjoy. Hope you enjoyed this episode, even with all of our technical difficulties and stuff, and the Ben frozen drinking
Yes.
stuff. But Ben, do you have anything else to say to the lovely people before we head out?
Just to get at it.
Get at it.